In that building behind me, the longest song ever is currently playing. And it's not even a Pink Floyd song.
The imaginatively named Longplayer started playing at the first moment of the year 2000 and will keep playing until the last moment of 2999. That's a full 1,000 years without repeating itself.
So I've come down to London, to Trinity Buoy Wharf, just north of the London O2, to meet the guy who designed and composed this piece. So let's go and find him.
The mad genius behind this project is a chap called Jem Finer. If you don't recognise the name, you'll definitely recognise his music. He was a founding member of the Pogues, most known for their song Fairy Tale of New York, which Finer co-wrote. He's invited me to come and listen to the longest song in the world. Climbing the stairs, you immediately start to hear the sound of Longplayer, a resonant, ethereal, slightly eerie sound. The sound itself comes from Tibetan singing bowls, and it plays out day and night in this building and is also streamed to several listening posts around the world. Once I was sure I wasn't being initiated into a cult, we went into the middle of the singing bowl display to chat about it.
In a nutshell, so you're standing in a listening post of Longplayer. Longplayer is a very long piece of music. It repeats every 1,000 years. Within that 1,000 years, it never repeats. So it's like a looping piece of music.
Continuously unique for 1,000 years.
So every 1,000 years it gets back to where it first started.
And what made you want to do this? Where did the idea come from? Because
the idea came from, I suppose, from childhood, from a fascination and a kind of fear of time. And from the sort of curiosity of always wanting to take things apart and see how they worked and put them back together again. So time always mystified me, like I think it does most people probably. Right. It started off as a thought experiment, how do you kind of make a piece of time of a certain duration? How do you kind of create a space to dream your way into long continuums of time? At some point I realised, okay, I know how I can I've got a system in my head of how I can make music of any specific length.
And how complicated is that system?
It's quite simple.
Is it? Okay, so explain
but no
how...
one understands it.
try and explain then in layman terms how Longplayer actually works.
Okay, so there's a piece of source music, which is 20 minutes, 20 seconds long, and it's made up of the sound of 39 singing bowls that you see around here, interspersed by silence, periods of silence. And then that source music's transposed 5 times. So it's like an octave below, fifth above, some other transpositions.
What results is 6 different pieces of music, represented here by each ring. They're layered on top of each other and played simultaneously in such a way that no combination is repeated until exactly 1,000 years has passed. One circle is so slow it takes the full 1,000 years to get around once, while another finishes a full loop in about 3.7 days. All the others are somewhere in between. And the system generates it algorithmically in 2-minute chunks at a time. It doesn't know what's going to be played tomorrow, it figures it out as it goes.
So when the piece starts, you just start them all playing at the same instant.
Right.
So it's like, if you imagine a clock, everything's at 12 o'clock, and you play for 2 minutes. And then after 2 minutes, you go back to the beginning again. Except you don't go quite back to the beginning. Each start point on each of these moves slightly forward a little amount. And in that way, every 2 minutes, these 2-minute sections start nudging around their way through the source music, which you think of as a circle. So they orbit in a sense.
So it's 1,000 years made up of 2-minute sections.
Yes, it's 6 2-minute sections, one on each transposition, nudging their way around, orbiting around.
Right.
But the thing is, what the crucial bit of information is that the amount each one moves every 2 minutes, the sort of amount of seconds or fractions, is different for each one.
Okay.
So they go at different rates.
It's probably not a huge surprise that Jem has a degree in computing, definitely put to good use in designing the clever maths and code that makes Longplayer work. At the moment, Longplayer is playing via a Raspberry Pi computer housed inside this protective unit, but that won't always be the way, according to the Longplayer Trust, the charity set up to manage Longplayer.
It's an interesting one because we don't even know if this building will still be standing in 1,000 years, and I know that's part of the.
I doubt it very much.
Yeah, so I suppose that's part of the Longplayer Trust's mission, is to find ways to have Longplayer free of any one technology and exist in other formats. Probably some formats that you've not even dreamed of at this point.
True. Yeah, I mean, exactly. You've answered the question you might have asked me, you know.
Yeah, and I've noticed you've moved to a Raspberry Pi in its current state. It used to be on old Macs and old computers.
Yeah.
Do you know what's next at this point?
No.
Just going to see what happens and see what comes?
Yeah, I mean, one of the problems about running it on computers is that they evolve all the time.
Yeah.
What I ideally would like is to have just humans playing Longplayer.
Live,
Yeah.
sort of in shifts every day.
Yeah.
Sections of Longplayer have already been played live, most recently in April of 2025 at the Roundhouse in London, where 1,000 minutes of the composition was played from 7:20 in the morning to midnight.
The bowls go on the tables, and next to each bowl is a line which just varies. The variations in height of that line show how loud it should be playing at any one time. So horizontally it's like time, and vertically it's like volume.
Okay.
So
it tells you how to play as you go.
yeah, so it's a graphic score that shows you how to play that bowl.
And
then you have a timeline which denotes 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes you start.
Right.
You follow the score, and when you get to the end of the 2 minutes, you go back to the beginning and slightly move the 2 minutes on.
Exactly how the piece
next.
works
Yeah.
in itself.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
So, ideally, the most robust way of keeping it going would be to make that live performance installation a permanent one.
How do you ensure that people carry on looking after this? I know you've got the Longplayer Trust set up. That whole mission for the next 1,000 years is just to keep it going. Is that right?
Yeah, so the Longplayer Trust is it's like a human, social, cross-generational organism, if you like. And the responsibility is to keep Longplayer playing, make it as freely and widely available as possible. And to research ways of keeping it playing. As long as there's people that are interested in doing that, it probably keep playing.
Because in 200 years, people might get bored of it and just think, switch that off
People
now.
might get bored of it. As soon as I pop off, they might get bored of it. You go, thank goodness, switch it off. I don't know. I mean, I've done all I can.
It's so surreal to think about something that will last 1,000 years. Nothing is built to last 1,000 years these days. And it's so weird to think about, especially in this day and age where politics and war and everything seems so unstable. I mean, even where I'm standing, this Trinity Buoy Wharf used to be a place for manufacturing and maintaining buoys, or buoys for my American viewers, for the River Thames. And now, 200 years later, it's this weird centre for arts and culture. So much can change in such little time. Whether or not Longplayer will last for 1,000 years remains to be seen. Not by you or me, though. We'll be long dead. And so will our grandkids. And their grandkids. And their grandkids. And their grandkids. And their grandkids.